This is Game Theory in Use. How to win American president election using the game theory, or who will win the election on November the 5th according to the game theory, in the light of the game theory. We are at the end of the campaign, few days before the election day. The two candidates, their campaign teams, use not only tit-for-tat strategy, but also they initiate a battle of arguments. They know it is the best performing strategy in economic sense in light of game theory. It is not Pareto optimal strategy, but we do not care about that. Actually, we need to run away from the Pareto optimal to Nash equilibrium. We need to run away from the Pareto optimal position where it is impossible to improve our utility without harming other ones, so we need to leave Pareto optimum for Nash equilibrium position where we stuck, because a Nash equilibrium is a situation where no player could gain by changing his own strategy, holding all other players' strategies fixed. Actually, individually moving, you can only choose worse. So we need the Nash equilibrium, and that's it. It's the business. When we have the winner takes all game and something like the prisoner's dilemma, or even iterated, I mean multiple but finished the prisoner's dilemma. It is the best strategy to betray. I mean to start action against the adversary. Start action against the adversary. To our opponent, be first to act. So what can the candidates do else to win? Actually, there is something else to do to win. We need to use another play of the game theory. It is the Colonel Blotto game. Colonel Blotto game is the second best known game after the prisoner's dilemma. The completely drunk Colonel game was invented in France, and the name comes from the then popular in the 1920s tricycle, known for its instability. Tricycle Blotto delivery company, Blotto Frère. So the instability is a special feature of the Blotto Frère. The tricycle instability is a special feature of the game Colonel Blotto, of every war, I suppose, and probably the colonel abusing alcohol. And instability is the special feature of the present election, where the two candidates are neck and neck. But there will be a winner on that election day. We are at the end of the campaign. If you want to be the winner, your staff wants you to be the winner, you, your staff, need to do something else. As in the Colonel Blotto game, where the winner takes all, the colonel has to deploy more troops on more battlefronts to win. So, for example, there are 3 battlefronts, like here, 1, 2, 3, and 10 troops all, 10 troops each. And if the Colonel Blotto's opponent deploys her troops, let's say her arguments this way, rather regular, 3, 3, 4, the colonel needs to deploy his troops, his counter-arguments this way, for example, 4, 4, 2. I mean, he needs to focus on 2 battlefronts, and the Colonel Blotto wins on 2 of the battlefronts, let's say the axis of the dispute. So first observation, first lesson from Colonel Blotto game is to know the arguments of the opponents and takes all. He is the winner. He wins on 2 of 3 battlefronts, so he wins the battle. And if our colonel has somewhere less troops, less arguments, he still can win. How? He needs to create new battle fronts, new fronts of arguments, new axes of the dispute to mobilize voters. Let's see. If the opponent has 25 troops and the colonel has 15, the colonel needs to create new fronts. He deploys 10 troops on this front and, for example, 3 and 2 on these fronts. And he wins. He wins on 3 of the 5 battlefronts, so he wins the battle. For example, show where you are with your tax proposition. on Laffer curve. If you want to cut taxes, it moves this way. Here we have tax rate and revenues here. So if you want to cut taxes, Laffer curve shows that it is this move. And if your opponent wants more social programs, more taxes, it moves this way. Higher taxes, but less revenues and less prosperity. It is just an example. So the most important lesson from the Colonel Blotto game is that new battlefronts, new axes of dispute must be created now to win.